right, y'all. We back on the scene to pull the lesson out. This is Gaming Looks Good, episode number 10, and we're taking on Mortal Kombat 10. Now, this is the show where we look at gaming from the lens of diversity. So we look at race, gender, sexuality, all that good stuff, and see how these games cover it. I'm Shareef Jackson, chilling in Milwaukee, and this week's shirt is Real Gamer. And as you can see, Real Gamers game on the toilet because that's where we do our thing. You know what I mean? And this is from the Unconsolable crew, which is a great podcast hosted by Anna Turkoff and Jessica Dennis. I mentioned it last week talking about the article on women in casual gaming. So go to either esn.fm or unconsolable.com to check out their podcast. So let's dip into Mortal Kombat, y'all. So as y'all know, this has been a game that's been around for a while. Fighting game, all about sort of like the fatalities and violence and all that stuff. So the story modes have never been that good. In particular, the one that I reviewed in episode 4, Mortal Kombat 9, was horrendous. And I won't go through the whole thing because you can go and watch that episode if you want to see how bad it was. But I'll just show you two really quick photos. There's this one, which shows you the crazy amount of boobage unnecessarily that was in this game. And this one, which shows the Death Breasts, which was the title of that episode 4, because every time a female combatant dies, their unrealistic inflatable breasts just sort of, like the camera just zooms in on them just to make them look even more ridiculous. So let's get into the game, and we're gonna start with kind of a long scene, about around a minute long, that instantly shows you the dynamics between characters and shows you that the women in this game are nothing to be fucked with. So let's check that out.
Thanks, Kenshi. Could you and Mr. Cage join us? Sergeant Cage, you and your team as you were.
This is Li Mei. She seeks asylum for her people in Earthrealm.
Our village, Sundo, was the epicenter of a fierce battle. We barely escaped with our lives.
Such is war. I mean, no offense, but you Outworlders kind of live for that, right?
This was different. The rebels, Mileena, had a weapon unlike anything. Entire battalions erased. It was not honorable, not combat.
Lieutenant.
So really, really cool there. So a couple things that you notice in that scene. One, so Raiden, like the Thunder God with the funny hat and all that, he wasn't really leading the conversation, and he's traditionally been the leader of the Mortal Kombat series in terms of their protagonists. It was really Sonya Blade there who addressed Cage and Cassie, who's her like ex husband and her daughter here, and just says that like, as you were with your team, so you immediately sense that abrasiveness. They're not really kind of acting like they're any kind of like family there. And then you see that the person that they're getting intelligence from is also a woman, and she's talking about her people. So she's representing an entire, group of people, and they don't make it sure if it's a small clan, if it's a whole country, or like whatever. But these are basically two women in power, both like Sonya and this other woman, talking about, how to best solve this like a issue. And they're talking about Mileena, who's another woman that like has power. So you basically have all these women that really have, things to lose and things to gain, and are not there just as like side pieces and like side dresses. And I got to go back to that original photo that I sent of Mortal Kombat 9. So like the woman on the left, that's Sonya Blade, and that's her cop uniform, as you see the cop badge over her massive rack that they have to display through the cop uniform. But Sonya here, that's how you dress, you know what I'm saying? She's a military person, and she's dressed like any military person is. So they definitely remedied that. They definitely made sure that the characters had some like depth to them. That scene alone, I was like, whoa, is this really Mortal Kombat that I'm watching? Because this is insane. So let's see some more scenes between Sonya and Johnny Cage. Now this first one is going to be current, kind of showing their current kind of distant kind kind of relationship. And then we're going to see a few scenes of them about 20 years ago, back when they were all lovey-dovey. So let's check those out.
I need you to take a team to Fort Charles. Check in with Raiden and report back.
What's going on?
What's your update from Colonel Flagg?
He said, "Why are you bothering me?" And I said, "Because my ex-wife is a pain in the..." No evil sorcerers in here.
You get serious.
Quan Chi needs to clean up his man cave.
It's cleaner than yours.
You're comparing me to Quan Chi?
Only in terms of cleanliness.
So the cool thing is, even back then when they clearly had a relationship going on, Sonya is still sort of, like she's leading that team there, and Cage is sort of like the wisecracking sidekick, but she's clearly the leader, and that's just awesome to see. Even in a game as silly as Mortal Kombat, it's still important to have women in these positions of power. So let's continue to explore that a bit with these scenes. And I also liked how I paused it while Johnny Cage is giving that nice side eye. But let's go to the rest of the Cage and Sonya action here.
Johnny Cage is mine.
So this is Quan Chi, one of the big enemies. And let's see how he fares against Sonya.
No, he's mine. Save him! I've got this son of a bitch.
Now, that was pretty crazy, because Quan Chi was like, Johnny Cage is mine, I'm gonna take him out, and like Sonya's like, nah, he's mine, I'm getting this son of a bitch. So like she's standing up for her dude, and this is a nice example of how Johnny Cage in this scene is in trouble and needs to be saved by his woman, who is a badass. Usually it's the other way around, where the woman is a damsel and she has to be saved by like the dude. So I really love how they flip that around. Now the next scene, it's a little disturbing. It's fairly violent, just to give you some a little trigger warning there. But it's actually one of probably the only scene ever in a fighting game where I'm actually questioning the violence and I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. Now this is going to be a pretty excessive beating sequence, and I will just show it to you now. Now, as you see, he's like already defeated. He's on the ground. He actually reaches up and she pushes his hand away and is like, I'm going in. And this is after I already hit him like about 5 or 6 times in a quick time event. So we're going to continue the beating after she pushes his like hand away. That actually made me uncomfortable, because he's clearly defeated and she's just continuing to beat on him, and I was kind of cringing a bit, especially since like she's one that you root for. It's like, I know he's evil, but this dude is defenseless and beaten, So even thinking of those questions in Mortal Kombat, and having a woman being the one that's making you think about that is just really, really cool, really progressive, and again is leagues beyond this. So it does end in a dumb part, though. Yeah, it's kind of dumb that this huge sorcerer that she just beat into nothing, that's the final blow, is to kick him in the nuts. So, that's kind of dumb. And, if that was one of the only scenes that, showed actually Sonya being being tough, I would think that it's not a good thing. But because this is balanced, like I said, with that longer scene of like her kind of taking charge of the discussions, everything else in the game, it's an outlier. And that's what's good about like these games, y'all, is all you have to do is keep diversifying your content, and these outliers will be treated as just that, outliers. So let's continue with the video here, and let's take a look at Milena, who, as you remember from Mortal Kombat 9, is this woman on the bottom that just looks like a bunch of boobs. So let's check that out.
Ah, there they are. 3 of your
your fellow counselors, whispering like handmaidens.
Now, what's cool is that like she walks in very sexy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like she's shaking the hips and like all that. She clearly plays up her sex appeal. And there's nothing wrong with it because she's not just a sack of boobs. Like she's still dressed, you know what I'm saying, in a sexy way. I mean, you can see the thigh, the arm, but it's not like ridiculous as, you know, as these outfits are, right? So you can still have sexy characters, you know. It's like all in how you present it and how often you balance that out with other depictions of women in your games. So let's go on to the next scene here, which is going to introduce some other characters to the mix.
Buckle up, people. I gotta put her down. Looks like the temple entrance is 15 clicks that way.
Moonlight walk in the woods. Another time, it'd be relaxing.
I wouldn't have pegged you for outdoorsy.
My mother and I lived near a forest a lot like this. Really takes me back.
After we wrap this up, we should go.
Now, so many cool things here. First of all, the woman's name is like Jackie Briggs. She's like the son of Jax Briggs, who was the daughter of Jax Briggs, who was like one of the, main black characters in the Mortal Kombat series. And she's a pilot, clearly, and, you know, she's in this interracial like relationship with this dude here, which, again, is not something that I would ever expect sort of Mortal Kombat to actually, go after, but her and Kenshi are like an item, and they make it clear, and they show it even in her face, just like the way that like she kind of lights up as he's talking about this like place with like his like mother, and then saying like, yo, even though we're in this crazy Mortal Kombat game, let's go there after, you know. So actually a little bit heartwarming. So very, very surprised to like see that, and the fact that just the way that she talks is like very normal, and the way that like he talks is like very normal as well. So like you don't have these super stereotype versions of like an Asian man and like a black woman just like talking just like ridiculous, as you see in like a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows and a lot of other games. So like they really chose to do like a really good depiction of, you know, of some fighters, like they're tough, and they also have that like soft spot of love. So let's check out some other interactions of Jackie and Kenshi.
I see you. Jackie, look out!
You hurt him? You answer to me.
Yes. So it's like the same thing that Sonya showed when Johnny Cage was in trouble earlier against Quan Chi, right? She's like, yo, you answer to me. That's my dude, you know what I'm saying? And I'm about to kick your ass, you know, which again is like awesome because it turns that whole damsel in distress thing around, whereas it's the black woman that is the like aggressor and is really saving her Asian male friend, which, which is dope. I know there are some intersectionality issues here, because I know that like black women are typically seen as this aggressive kind of non-feeling thing. But the thing is that they show that scene originally where she's soft and she loves him. So this is really seen as, you know, as an act of love, not only just, you know, like fulfilling this sort of angry black woman stereotype. So I think that this was also a great job here. In terms of establishing Jackie's character. So let's see after she defeats her enemy reptile here.
Stop! You need water. Lean your head back. Can you see?
Yeah, it's fuzzy, but...
Better?
Beautiful.
Look at that. So like, you know, so like she like saves him, and like he's like, you're beautiful, and just look at the look at her face. she's like she's beaming, you know, and I just love that, you know, they're very unabashed with showing their like feelings, even though they just came through this crazy combat sequence of like kicking ass and fighting reptiles and like all that stuff. So they really do a good job with that here, and I was really impressed. Again, y'all, this is Mortal Kombat. I don't have expectations for this kind of stuff, and I was just blown away. You know, so let's show some more scenes. This time we're gonna switch back to Cassie Cage and see how she kicks ass.
Hold that thumb.
So I love that scene because Cassie, a lot of times when you see women fighting in either games or in books, they're always like these nimble, they're flipping around, they might like use like acrobatics, like they're usually seen as, you know, the fairer sex in the fight. So like you rarely see them actually like, you know, punching or like something like that. It's like usually like a acrobatic thing. Cassie's in there kneeing people, giving dudes body shots, you know what I'm saying, and like knocking them in the face. So like, you know, a lot of the fights in this game, I mean, the women are like brawling, you know what I'm saying, they're headbutting and like all that stuff. So really tough women in this game, which is again really awesome. And the fact that like there's like not only like the white women that like do it, there's like black women, Asian women in the game. So you know, it's a really consistent theme that they really, I think, are really kind of trying to counteract this and this, right, with the images that they have in the game. Now, there is a little bit of the boobies, though, which is this, in this scene here, when you look at some of the, for all intents and purposes, they're zombies. So the zombie versions of some of the characters, which for some reason still have the boobs of Mortal Kombat 9. So let's check that out.
Have you found Raiden's portal to the heavens?
Yeah, see, so like this is Liu Kang, Kitana, and like Sindel. All three of them were in Mortal Kombat 9. For some reason, they're still dressed kind of like this, right? If you look at Kitana in the middle, looks like she still has, you know, a slightly more put together version of that, even though she's a zombie. And you can tell because listen to her talk.
Yes, but his ward's protected. We can't break through.
That is unacceptable. After Earthrealm is destroyed, we must complete Lord Shinnok's vengeance.
So yeah, it's just weird that like they have these like zombie bosoms. So this is kind of a bit of death breasts, even though she's not dead. It's like zombie breasts or something like that. It's just weird that like they reformed and they made all the other characters look so much better, but the zombie versions of these still have sort of these weird outfits that just don't make any sense. Even though like Liu Kang is actually covered up here, and in like the other games he had a really badly designed chest, so it's very interesting why they chose the zombie versions to actually have that. So yeah, so one thing that I did not capture video of is there is a character that actually, you know, through context clues actually comes out as gay in the game. Basically, he's trying to steal something, and Raiden, like the Thunder God, says like, hey, we only care about what you do, not who your heart desires. You know, and like they kind of don't take it any farther than that. But I believe that NetherRealm actually came out and like said that, yes, this character is gay. So even though that they hinted at that, to have a gay character in a fighting game, you know, is pretty big, pretty progressive. And once again, y'all, I can't believe I'm saying this about Mortal Kombat, but they did a damn good job. The story is actually great. The fighting engine is great. This is a really top-notch game. So yeah, I know that I like to leave with some funny stuff. So let's look at some of the zombies actually fighting. So let's start up some of the shenanigans.
Invade the heavens and destroy the Elder Gods.
Okay, so like this is Zombie Striker on the right. He's like a SWAT cop from Earth. For some reason, even though he's a zombie, he still has his SWAT hat on. You think as a zombie, I don't know, it just seems weird that he has like this hat on. And even though he gets punched in the face, that hat is like literally stuck to his head. So maybe as a zombie, it just morphs to your exposed brain or something like that. I have no idea. And now we're going to see one of the people, Sindel, who also has the boobs of Mortal Kombat 9, get just shut down by Raiden. So I actually think I'm going to use that just the same way that I use that scene of Raiden kind of shutting down Jax every time a black person in another game is, unceremoniously dealt with. I think I'm going to use this scene. Anytime a woman in another game is treated badly, I think I'm going to break this scene out. So thank you, Mortal Kombat, for giving me another scene with Raiden shutting down somebody. So once again, y'all, that is Game Looks Good episode number 10. Check us out at gaminglooksgood.com or hashtag gaminglooksgood, or just search for Shareef Jackson on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me at Shareef Jackson. Every social network like Shareef Jackson. Y'all know what the deal is. Peace out, y'all.